And that first visit, Alicia sits on a chair in the living room, and I sit on the couch with her mom, and she stays there with us the whole time, and I don't blame her. If Alicia were my daughter, I'd want to protect her too. Mom is wrong about Dad being so mad that I'm telling other people about the situation. She said I had to tell him about the Van Dorns myself. When I call him at the hospital late Saturday afternoon, I'm all set for a big yelling match. It doesn't happen. Dad listens when I tell him about Alicia and about her dad and mom, and he doesn't shout or splutter or interrupt me or anything. He's quiet, and then he says, if that's the decision you've made, Bobby, then your mom and I will back you up 100%. These people might even end up being a help. Frankly, I've been feeling a little overwhelmed about everything. I've heard of Professor Van Dorn, and I can't wait to meet him and talk about this. I'm surprised he takes the news so well, and as I hang up, I wonder why he's so mellow, and I wonder if this is a real change. But I don't get my hopes up too high. It might just be something the doctor is piping into his brain. I know what Dad means about feeling overwhelmed, and he's right. It's a relief to have a few more people on the official Save Bobby Phillips committee, because this started on Tuesday, and now it's Saturday. That's 5 days. When I woke up this morning, I got scared. Not scared like the last 4 mornings. Not scared by the sudden rediscovery that my body is missing. I got scared because I woke up already knowing that I'm like this. That means I'm getting used to it. Nothing's changing, and I'm just rolling along, going with the flow. I'm adjusting to a serious maladjustment. And that's truly frightening. But I'm learning stuff. The real lessons start 2 weeks later when Dad comes home from the hospital, and he's at home with me and Mom for 6 days before he starts commuting to Batavia again. He's got a blue plastic cast on his left arm from his elbow to his knuckles. Most of the time at home he spends poking through a huge stack of books and scientific journals. And now that he's going to Fermilab every day, I have the feeling he's doing the same thing there all day, looking for the science of what's happening. I reminded him about maybe taking a fingernail clipping to put under the electron microscope, but he shook his head and said, too early for that. Need to have a better theoretical grip on it first. And Dad's different. Or maybe I am. Or maybe it's both of us, because there's a lot less yelling. He talks, I listen. I talk, he listens. He still says plenty of stupid stuff, and he still says bingo way too much, but he's definitely not the same person. So one thing I learned is that maybe everyone should have a near-death experience now and then. Sure did the trick for Dad. And I learned that I can have a girlfriend, or at least a friend who's a girl. That's because I talk to Alicia a lot. We talk on the phone, and we do instant messaging. She's got a text-to-speech translator on her PC, so whatever I type into a message window, her PC says out loud. She types a lot faster than I do, and we just talk. She tells me how her day stinks or how her mom yells at her, and I tell her how my day stinks and how my mom yells at me. She tells me that the week before she went blind, she checked a book out of the library called Welcome to the Monkey House. It's by Kurt Vonnegut, and she only read the first 3 stories, and now her audiobook supplier can't find a recording of it. So we talk about Vonnegut, and I tell her that my favorite book of his is A Cat's Cradle. Then I get my mom to buy the Monkey House book, and I read Alicia a couple of the stories over the phone. She says I'm really good at reading aloud, and we just talk about stuff. So that's something I learn I can do. Because before Alicia, what girls did I actually talk to. There's Mom, and then there's about 50 teachers and babysitters and daycare ladies who are basically like Mom. There's Carla, who's my lab partner in 8th grade science, and she's basically like Dad. And that's pretty much it. So my known female database is pretty limited, because the girls at the lab school are mostly scary, and if any of them want to be friends, they haven't told me. About half of the girls at U-High act like they've known what they want to do in life since about 3rd grade. Girls like Megan Murray and Lydia Strauss, if they see me at all, they look at me like I'm a bug, something to squash as they march toward the highest possible class rank. The other half of the girls have money. Girls like Jessica and her crew, they're into clothes and shoes and jewelry and cell phones and beepers and cars. That'll be next. These girls don't pass notes in class. They send infrared emails to each other on little Palm computers.